All right. What's up? What's going on? Welcome back to your favorite WMMA show. Hashtag CB99 Talks, episode 214. It's official. I get to sit behind the mic on this one. Oh man, been so busy. Finally get to sit down and actually talk about some fights. You know, not on the go, not on the move, but just at home. Right here at home. So yeah, what's going on, y'all? No, I haven't heard about Lucindo. Nope, I haven't. What's going on? Tay Tay in the building, Two Beats too. Yeah, we here. Oh boy, Tay Tay gonna start with the fried chicken. Oh my goodness, I don't need no fried chicken right now. Mm, fried chicken. Last month I had some roasted chicken. Man, that's good. Like I never even like. I mean, I heard of roasted chicken, but I never had any. But man, like when you roast chicken, the way it just like comes off the bone. Like I'm not really like a big fan of chicken breasts. I like chicken thighs, but the way they roasted this chicken, it made like the breast taste like a thigh and feel like one. It was that tender. Oh wow. Dang. Fried chicken, yellow corn, killing me, killing me. I ain't even eat. I did. I even eat. I did not even eat. Oh man, like when was the last time I ate? Been a while. Closeman said one thing Combo ain't been eating this week is crow. I haven't eaten crow for the past 3 or 4 cards now. No, except for Verna. Verna's the only one that caused me to eat crow, but other than that, no. Anyways, before we get started, what happened to Yasmin Lucindo? I haven't heard anything. I mean, I know she's not fighting in December, but I don't know what happened. So yeah, bringing that up though. This week, yeah, I have not eaten any crow. I went 3-0 this card, and the card was good, man. Like 322 is good. I know a lot. Oh my goodness, she popped. Oh boy, wow. That was the situation. Oh boy, that's gonna be a whole nother video in itself. We're gonna have to talk about that. Um, why she popped? I mean, is she going through something? I don't mean mentally, but like the way she's looking right now. She on some. I mean, is she on something? Like, mm, I don't like that. I don't like that. She done kill the chances of being a triple threat if she did pop. I didn't see anything on that though, but I hope she didn't. I mean, I haven't seen it anywhere. You got to tell. Was this on an article or what? Because I don't want to make any assumption. I don't want to make any. I'm not getting there until I see like an article because I'm looking right now. Is she? Did she pop for real? Did she pop? Because I don't see anything. Have you heard anything about that, Tay Tay? I don't see anything about her popping. So, because those are serious accusations. Yeah, I don't see nothing. But anyways, let me know if it is. We'll talk about that. We're probably gonna have to talk about that seriously. Let me know where you see that at. Um. Oh, Tay Tay said I heard Fatima was a Golden Glove boxer. Was she? Oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I know she comes from jujitsu, but no, like I did not know she was a Golden Glove boxer. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to find some info here, man. Like, Colostrum, do you have this? Do you have this source where she got popped? You got to tell me, because if I don't see it, I'm not gonna make no assumption on a person like that. Tay Tay, did you hear about Yasmin Lucindo popping? All right, I really want to see. Like, I really want to see. Like, I hope she didn't. Got to talk to me. Let me know. I don't see it. I really don't see it. You know me. I ain't going. I'm not going to do it. You said I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how to find it. I can't post it because I'm not a mod. Um, well, you can tell me. Like, just tell me the article or whatever because I don't see it. If I don't see it, it's not real. So, yeah, you got to tell me. I know sometime close to me might be clickbaiting me, but hey, you know, most people just give me the information, but I'm not trusting that. I don't see anything. If I don't get nothing 5 4 3 2 1, that's fake news. Anyways, I ain't, like I said, if it ain't, I don't see it, forget it. But yeah, 322, good card. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people felt like the Bullet put on a boring performance, but man, like, what did you expect? Like, it wasn't boring to the person that appreciates the sweet science, the person that appreciates a technical performance, right? That's how I gotta just go ahead and drop that. Like, everybody's expecting these barn burners from high level opponents, but when have we ever got like a barn burner from just like high level opponents like that? Even the main event wasn't really like a high level, you know, barn burner. Well, it wasn't like a high intensity type of fight. Islam and JDM, right? He did what he had to do. He did what he had to do in that fight. The same as Valentina did what did against Zhang Wei Li. Like, people have to understand, Valentina's not gonna give up her belt. She's not gonna give up her belt. She's not gonna risk it by trying to make the crowd happy. And she even speaks like that. Like, every interview she's done, when she's talking about how she fights, she's always like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I fight, and this is about me. Not in a selfish way, but she's like, I respect my opponents, but I don't fight down to their level. She works hard in the gym. She works hard in the gym to make a fight look easy. So that's why her fights translate this way because, again, she appreciates s- the science behind the fight game. Like when, just like with Floyd Mayweather, why do people always expect these type of performances that are gonna be like action packed? Like when Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao fought, Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez. Like, why do people think this is going to be like some toe to toe action type of fight where we get a bunch of knockdowns and blood everywhere? We thought Zhang Weili was going to go in there and force that type of fight, but if you really know and truly understand what Valentina is and what she's done for so many years, like this is what you get. This is exactly what you get. Yeah, Floyd is more of a defensive fighter, very technical when he's up against the ropes as well. Yeah. And it's still fun to watch to me. It is still fun to watch. Zama said she showed how to fight shorter. Shevchenko showed how to fight a shorter fighter. Yeah, she just owned her. I mean, she's beat short fighters, big fighters, everything. She prepares well. But before we really jump into that, since you brought up Fatima Kline, man, I was pleased with Fatima Kline's performance. I was pleased with Fatima Kline's performance. I know she wasn't. I was listening to her interview and she just felt like, you know, it didn't go her way, like, well, as far as getting the stoppage, but to me it's okay. It was okay, like not every fight is going to be a finish. As long as you fight the finish and you put on like an exciting performance, I'm cool with that. I thought she did her part. Um, what makes Fatima Kline so dangerous right now, not just like her killer instinct, is just her willingness to grow as a fighter, man. Like I see her doing everything, she's just in there striking, her hands ain't raggedy, you know what I mean? Like you might see one grappler that gets all these submissions, but you're like, oh man, this person, their hands just ain't it. Like I used to knock Jillian Robertson for that. Jillian Robertson be submitting all these girls, right? She be submitting everybody. She got all these finishes, but her stand-up game back in the day, it just wasn't hitting. Now her stand-up game is definitely better, but her stand-up game wasn't all that before, But I see Fatima Kline looking way better, with her hands. Like she looks way better. Like than, I think Jillian Robertson did when she was on this level. When Jillian was on this level, her hands weren't like this. I think Fatima Kline, she's much more confident and she's got the skill set too. Like her footwork is good. She can switch stances. She's putting combinations together. She's connecting, and the proof is right there. I mean, she got a head kick knockout. I mean, she head kicked the boxer, knocked her out. She beat a Muay Thai fighter this past Saturday with some good, good striking. And I mean, she was clipping Jasmine, right? She was clipping Jasmine. So she's got good commitment to her, to her hands. She ain't no joke with that. Like I like that. I just think one of the things she needs to do is turn down the intensity. Like she wanted to finish. Like she said, she wasn't pleased with her performance because she couldn't get the finish. Right? She couldn't get the finish. Well, couldn't get the finish because I think she was just throwing with too much power on all those shots. Just too much intensity. She needed to slow it down because I thought there was a point where she kind of got a little tired too. But um, I thought overall though she was just doing a little bit of everything in there that was good. And you can't finish a girl like Angela Hill anyway. Like, don't beat yourself up for not finishing Angela Hill. Not too many people finish Angela Hill like that. Like she's legit when it comes to her durability. Like this girl can take a head kick. She's taking a head kick by Lamos. She's taking a head kick now by Fatima Kline, I think like 2 times in this fight. So big shots by Andrade, and she's still in there. But yeah, Kline is definitely looking like a top 5 fighter. Like I said, I'm not rushing her in there. I'm not gonna say she goes in there and beats a fighter like Mackenzie Dern yet. I'm not even gonna say she beats Yan Xiaonan yet. I just want to see her move up gradually. I'm looking at the rankings now. She's number 12. Okay, so at number 12, she could step up. She could step up and fight Andrade now, because we all know Andrade isn't what she used to be, but that's still a dangerous test for a girl that's never been in there with a high level fighter. And I mean, that's still a plus because Andrade is a former champion. Andrade is number 9, but imagine if Fatima Kline could beat a former champion this early in her career at number 12. I mean, last week she was just unranked. Now this week she's ranked, so taking on Andrade in the next fight, or a number 8 like Tabitha Ricci, I definitely I'm definitely with either one of those fights. That's a good matchup. So Andrade lost her fight against Lupi. So yeah, that would be a good one. Tabitha Ricci, who was her last opponent? Tabitha Ricci, who was her last opponent? Because Tabitha Ricci, I'm still kind of questioning her skill set. Like, maybe it's her size. Oh yeah, she finished Amanda Ebos back in July. Before that, she lost to Yan Xiaonan. So that's a fight that could be tough for her. Man. I think that when I look at Tabitha Ricci, she kind of has trouble with these long fighters. On top of that, she's gonna be fighting a fellow jiu-jitsu practitioner. That's gonna be crazy. That would be a crazy matchup. But I would have to go with Fatima Kline. BJ said Ebos. I don't know, man. Ebos is kind of on the downside. Ebos lost that last fight. I would rather see her fight Ricci, who beat Ebos. Yeah, the only thing you can't do is trade with Jessica Andrade. You can't. No, you can't. You can't trade with Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade, she's gonna take that to her MMA grave. Don't trade with Andrade. Lupi almost got put out of that fight. Lupi won them first 2 rounds, but she almost got put out of that fight in the 3rd round. She was about out of there. Zama said she probably won't beat Jan since her wrestling is suspect, but she beats placeholder. She beats placeholder. Yeah, I don't think that's a fight I would want to see Fatima in yet. You got to take your time. BJ said Aaron traded with Andrade. She did. She proved y'all wrong because y'all thought she was gonna get knocked out. She took some big shots in that fight. She definitely took some big shots. So Aaron is they both come from the same dog kennel. Fatima Kline and Aaron. And to me, they both got the same amount of dog. They both are tough. I don't know though, man. I think Fatima, this stage of Fatima kind of makes better striking selection than Aaron does. I said it. No, I said it the other day. I'll say it again. I'm just saying. I think Aaron needs to kind of work on her entry a little bit more, not take as many shots. I think Fatima Kline, her footwork is a little bit better. I think it is. I like how she extends her jab fully too. She lets that thing go, took her head off the line a few times, tried her best not to absorb a lot of shots. So I think she would be good against somebody like Andrade, as long as she uses her length. So that's a fight I would want to see her matched up with either her or Ricci. I'm going to keep saying that. Either her or Ricci, because either one I think is a good development fight. I think Andrade would test her technique and how she would keep her composure. Ricci would kind of test Fatima's ability to be, adaptable against somebody who's a little shorter and quicker. Doesn't have the same power as Andrade, but she can see how she could handle like a short, quick fighter. Who else you got up here? I'm just taking a look at the ranking. So yeah, Daenerys, she got knocked down to 15 now, and Angela Hill dropped down 2 spots. So yeah, Kline's coming in big, man, and at number 12, I could see them trying to move her faster, but I like to see her take like another test or two. Go ahead and take another test or two. Take your time. Jessica Andrade, yeah, Jessica Andrade. I mean, that's another thing she gonna take to her MMA retirement is her poor defense and yeah, poor defense. I mean, once you got so much power, sometimes it's like you don't think you need to work defense. That's the problem. Once a fighter has so much power and they knock so many people out, they don't really want to train for defense. They've been on offense for so long that they don't think about that. But I see Fatima doing a little bit of both, her as a fighter, like moving side to side, moving side to side, using her reach, exchanging only when she needs to. So yeah, I definitely think that Fatima Kline, we'll see her maybe 2026. You'll probably see her get to like top 7, top 5 by like next year. Again, I don't see any need to rush her at 25 years old. Angela Hill, man, I think that's it. I think maybe one more fight for Angela Hill, maybe like a farewell fight. Maybe her and Sam Hughes. I hate to say it. I hate to make Angela Hill like a stepping stone, but I think Sam Hughes just beat 3 people in a row. So Angela Hill at number 14, maybe take that fight. Maybe like a Sam Hughes fight, that would be good. And if she was to lose that fight, I would say, man, maybe she need to call it a day. Because eventually, somebody will stop you. Okay, yeah, she beat 3 people in a row. So, yeah, I think a fight between Angela Hill and Sam Hughes, that would be a good fight at this point. Get somebody new in the rankings. 40 years old, and she is still going, though, man. That's crazy. Especially with all the fights and wars that Angela Hill been in. Dang, got to give her some credit. I can't imagine. I know she's probably feeling it. But yeah, what y'all think for Fatima Kline? Andrade, I'll go with Andrade. That's a fight to have us on the edge of our seat. But Andrade, she's not too far either from becoming a stepping stone either. She kind of fell down. She kind of fell down too. Unless they do like an Angela Hill and Jessica Andrade farewell rematch. That would be something. But let's look at this one. Erin Blanchfield. Oh man, Erin, boy, she put the work in this fight. Tracy Cortez, like I said, I know people think this ain't a popular take, but to me, I think Erin broke Tracy Cortez. Like, I don't care if you are winning a fight. I've seen people get broken even when they are winning a fight. Like, I watch so many fights and I watch like people's body language. Come on. Like, Cortez was in charge the first round, no doubt. I won't even say she was like fully in charge because you saw the momentum go in Erin's favor by the end of the round. Then when you really look at like Cortez's face after getting cut, she looked like she was kind of struggling because another thing is Erin was walking through a lot of her shots too. So to me, I don't think that Cortez really had that. She had the game plan, but she just didn't really have that composure. She kind of like she let it detach. She just got detached in there and just let Erin bully her. And then when she started getting bullied, her plan fell apart. And that's what I mean, like how she got broken. Like, what do y'all think? Like, I thought Erin broke her. Like, I thought Erin kind of broke her. I mean, it was the second round. It was the second round, but after that, like, she just kind of fell apart. She lost her momentum. Paul said Tracy was lighting her up at the beginning. Yeah, she was, but then she fell apart. Lighten her up at the beginning, but then you let it all go. So doesn't make a difference. That's why I was just like, you had this game plan. You had the crisper punches. You kept the center of the cage, but she let the fact that Erin wasn't hurt by these shots kind of bug her, like she didn't really turn it on. Like she didn't turn on the counter punching a little bit. She didn't turn up the jab, be a little bit more intense and stand her ground. She just started like letting Aaron invade, you know. To be said, definitely can't say she broke her. Tracy's takedown defense didn't hold up. Nah, her will didn't hold up. No, she was broke, man. She was broke, man. Because you can see it in her face. Like if you look at her at the end of that first round, and then going into that second round when Aaron wasn't taking any mess. Aaron was just walking through these punches. Like Aaron was not going anywhere. Finally, when she started getting clinched up, no, because Tracy went for a takedown. That was the mistake. Like Tracy Cortez went for a takedown. Remember? She went for a takedown in the second round. And when she did that, she let Aaron get in there and reverse on her. And then Aaron started clinching up with her and she started putting that strength on her. And I think she felt like at that point, like, I don't really have much else to do, that can really hurt this girl to get her respect. She couldn't get her respect in the clinch. She tried to reset, go back to her boxing, but Aaron still kept throwing. Aaron might be getting hit, but she still kept throwing, you know. And then, she lets her, her takedown defense didn't hold up because, her mental didn't hold up. She was done. She gave up her back quick in this fight. Like, wow. I was just like, dang, okay. That fight really turned around. Like, that was a big 180. Like, yeah. The first round, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I like her game plan. She's standing the ground. She's throwing up knees to the body, similar to how Valentina was doing. She kept throwing up knees to the body like Valentina did against Weili a little bit. She throws some body kicks. But then after that, whenever the momentum went towards Aaron at the end of the round, she just didn't seem to have it anymore. And yeah, she started the first round. Like they both traded. They both traded some good shots in the first round. Second round, it was a scrappy fight. But then after that, who held up? They may have traded. Look, yeah, to be said, the second round, Tracy was right. She was right in her face. But guess what? Who stayed in her face? She couldn't hold up. She stayed in her face the first round, right? But again, what happened? Just look at her face in the fight. Like she stayed in there, but Aaron didn't go anywhere. Aaron's face looked the same. Like she said, okay, you want to do this? I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep coming. Then Tracy let it go. Like she traded for a little bit, but Aaron, I think she was game for the whole round, third round, whatever. Just like she did with Manon, she kept coming and coming, but this one here, Tracy, she didn't have the like strength and she didn't have the full commitment to her technique. It just takes that sometimes. Like I didn't see a fighter that was in there the whole time for it, call it a simple mistake or what, but I thought she was just like physically and mentally done at that point when Aaron just would not go anywhere. Aaron showed she was better on the ground. Aaron showed she was still better in volume striking, mixing it up. She was throwing kicks, throwing jabs, throwing right hands until finally, she showed she was better on the ground, still better, But I think Tracy, I think sometimes it just comes down to not being busy enough, not being active enough. She's not really in there trying to, I mean, maybe she got other stuff going on. Like I said, she just got other stuff going on. I just think she needs to be a little bit more active so she knows where she stands because, we're not airing on her defense all the time, but she's staying busy, and that intensity is kind of too much for some of these other girls. Like most of these other girls on the lower level, aside from somebody like maybe Crispy or Wayne Kong, a lot of these girls I think Aaron could beat. Aaron, she could beat a lot of these girls, but I think, man, like that's a fight right there, man. Ooh, like I want to see Carly Giudice versus Wayne Kong, but Wayne Kong is like an opponent that Aaron has to be careful with. I'm gonna just say it that way. Like if a girl has some type of power and some really good technique, Aaron's going to run into some problems there. Like Manon, she owned her, for 50-45 every single round. I don't care what you say, BJ. You keep saying that wasn't a shutout. That was a shutout. If you lose every round, that's a shutout. To me, that's a shutout. You lose every round, you got shut out. Okay. But Aaron still was able to stay in the storm. But when you're dealing with some girls that sit down on their punches, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. So I just want to really see Aaron tighten up on her defense. She got to really tighten up on that D, man. She really got to, because this goes into the next thing. Valentina Shevchenko, she mentioned Aaron after her fight. And I was like, man, I don't know about that. Like that's a fight that I think Aaron, she wants, but personally, I don't think I think heart wise she might be ready for it, but technically I don't think this performance or just her overall development in general really put her above Natalia Silva. That's why I'm gonna keep making that argument. Like I think, yeah, Aaron is definitely bounced back from losing her first fight in the UFC a year ago, but I still see some things that she's doing that could be simple for the champion, that could be simple for the champion. And especially that's the thing too, like people don't understand, like Valentina's loss to Alexa Grasso, it made her better, man. Like it made her better. And I don't necessarily mean like it has her doing a bunch of new things and like, crazy revamped and reinvented things. It just makes Valentina really stick to what she knows now. Like Valentina's really sticking to some basics, and she's really going back to just focusing on some of the basic things. And I think that with Valentina losing that Grasso fight, kind of, it did humble her. It humbled her to make her come back and understand what a lot of these girls are bringing. So it's making her train in a way to prepare for girls like Aaron, to go back and use that right hook, and use that jab, and stop being stingy with that and using them body kicks more. So just looking at the style matchup, like I was saying the other day, man, like Aaron could have some success against Valentina on the ground, but where does every fight start? Where does every fight start? It starts on the feet. And if you can't get past the feet, and if you can't get in the zone, or you can't get Valentina down, then it's going to be a long night. And Wei Lee found that out. Wei Lee, she did find that out. Like I said, I like Aaron, man. I think she's a good fighter, man. Like I do. And she came up to that level like I thought she would, but that Manon Fior fight just answered a lot of questions, man. Like when you're dealing with a top-notch striker and you still are not really moving your head and you still run into a lot of shots, like you can take Rose's punches all day. Like Rose at 125, not that hard of a puncher. You take Manon because she was fighting on the back foot. But, when Valentina starts sitting down on shots, them shots, they will stun you. They will stun you. Maybe even put you down a little bit, but they'll put you in respect mode. Ask Wei Lee, Ask all of them girls that just fought Valentina in the last few fights, Marcus Bell, what's up, man? So if she got the shot, fine. Okay. All right. I mean, I would be mad because Natalia Silva deserves her shot. You know what I mean? Like Natalia's earned that shot. But to me, I just think that putting Aaron in there right now, well, I say, I won't say it's a mistake. I just don't think it's a fight that she could pull off. I don't think it's a fight she could pull off right now. Valentina hitting that second prime, third prime now. I don't know. I just don't know. Tracy Cortez. I say just reschedule the fight with Tracy and Miranda, or Tracy versus Veronica Macedo. That would be a good fight. I just think she needs to take some. By the time she takes maybe some recovery time off, I know that Miranda had torn her ACL. They might come back around the same time. So to me, Tracy and Miranda would make sense. But I think that Veronica Macedo, that would be a good fight. I want to see Veronica Macedo get ranked too. No lie. I really want to see that. Yeah. 2B said BJ's right in the sense that she's more prepared experience wise, but Silva's more prepared skill wise. I said that the other day. Like, I said that in the debate the other day. Like, I wasn't arguing BJ on that. Like, what I told him was, I said Silva style matchup is a problem it's more of a problem for Valentina. Yeah, I told him that, 2Bs. I mean, he must have said that yesterday, but I told him that yesterday. I told him that Monday when he took a link. I told him Silva is the one that has more of like a skill set on the feet that could be a problem. And Aaron, her toughness and just her overall experience is what could get her a possible victory, like they both bring something to the table, but to me, Natalia Silva, her skill is what prepares her for that fight. Because that's exactly what I said. I think you got that twisted. But yeah, I think Aaron just needs to move her head a little bit more. She just got to move her head a little bit more, extend that jab out, and kind of, just I don't know. Like, I gotta go back and watch some fights. Like, I gotta really go back and watch some Aaron's fights to say, okay, she's gonna be this problem for Valentina, even on the outside. I mean, she does have some sneaky head kicks, like when she throws in those volume shots. Like, I was watching a little bit of the Rose clip on YouTube somebody posted, and she was throwing some shots out. She was throwing some strikes, and she threw a head kick in her combination too. But Valentina's just seen so much, man. Valentina's just seen so much now that I don't know, man. It's hard to pick against her right now. It really is. Valentina, man. Again, Valentina, to say this fight was boring, I already know what that usually means by the casual fan. That means it was a technical shutout and everybody wanted to see blood. I mean, I've seen boring fights. I know what a boring fight is. Boring fight to me was Rose Carla rematch, and now the Valentina Liz Carmouche fight. That was a boring fight. What was that one fight? I know Marcus remember. What was it? I can't believe I remember this fight. That Sarah Cheesecake fight. Sarah Morris. Who was that girl she fought? Hold on. Because these are my three most boring fights. Three of my most boring fights of all the time. Vanessa Mello. Yeah. That fight got both of them cut. Yeah, they both got cut after that one. That was crazy. Sarah Cheesecake Morris and Vanessa Mello, they both got cut after that fight. They both lost that night. It was like 5 years ago. That fight, Valentina's fight with Liz Carmouche, like the second fight, that one was kind of boring. And I think that was not really because of Valentina. I think Liz Carmouche just didn't really want to engage in that fight. Liz Carmouche was actually the one that was on the outside in that fight. Like, that Liz versus what you see in the PFL and Bellator are different. You know what I mean? Like, she was really tentative in that rematch with Valentina. So those two fights I would say are boring. Yeah, of course, Carla and Rose the rematch. Those three fights to me, those are three of the most boring fights. But this fight to me was not boring. I don't think this fight was boring. I thought it was a good technical shutout. Like you want to see a higher level striker, high level MMA fighter that can grapple and show you how to beat somebody that has a chaotic style and get respect from them. I mean, she did that. I think Wei Li thought that her presence at some point would be kind of intimidating to Valentina, but when she started feeling it, I think it's different, man. Like soon as that bell ring and you see that person standing across from you and you already see how geared in they are and how wired in they are, I think it does something to you, even for a champion like Wei Li. When she stepped in and just felt Valentina's energy, I think that kind of made her switch her gear too. But then it was really when she started seeing the speed difference, when she couldn't get in with any calf kicks and when she felt like that first body kick, I think those are the shots that let her know just how fast that she was and how unprepared she was. So to me, yeah, that was just like the wake up for Wei Li in that first round. And I don't think it's the fact that Wei Li just because Wei Li never quit. She just didn't have anything. She just didn't have anything for Valentina. She didn't offer anything. And it goes back to, what I was saying too about her wrestling. Her wrestling is far, far better than it used to be. But that was measured from that last Rose fight up till now to the people that she linked with, where Valentina, her record it's extensive, it's like over a decade, so almost going 20 years, so when you look at her experience versus Wei Li's short years of experience, there's no way that was going to just stand up to her. There's no way that was going to stand up to her like that. But I don't know, man. Like every time these big fights go down with Wei Li, it just turns everybody into like emotional wrecks. Like every time, like it does every time. Like normal fights, including the Valentina fight, or maybe even like a Pena fight or a Nunes fight. Somebody's telling me something, man. But like I have not heard anybody that is a fan of Wei Li or that picked Wei Li, give me an answer on why she lost the fight. Like do y'all not watch it in a technical way? Like, tell me something, man. Like, can anybody do that? Like, was there anybody that did pick Whaley that can go back and say, oh, well, this is what she did wrong, or oh yeah, I was wrong about this, or she just wasn't fit for this. Like, I haven't heard anybody come with that type of energy. Now, when she beat Suarez, they were, because she won. Because she won. But then it's like, oh, why did Suarez lose? Everybody want to know. I could tell you why she lost because I admit I picked wrong on that, you know. And that's why I always say this. I'll always be around. Like, if I get a pick wrong, so be it. I'm not the fighter. I'm not in the person's mind. I can get as close as I can. But if I get it wrong, I'm not hiding. I'll be right here. And I'll even do a video on it, Manon Fiore lost. Hey, I broke it down for you. I think this is why she lost, right? This is what went wrong. I know I picked her. I picked her to beat Valentina. I picked Suarez to beat Wei Li. Hey, I picked Amanda Lemos to beat Wei Li. Got those wrong. Here I am. Only come around. People only come around if Wei Li wins. But support your fighter, man. Like, really support your fighter. Really support your fighter, man. Like, support them through the wins and the losses. Do that by coming over here and having a discussion. Can we do that? Because as a fight fan, I want to know. I just want to talk to. BJ said they don't. No, they don't. and this is where we separate, BJ. This is where we separate the fanalists or analysts, the real fight fans, because I all day long, people can tell you when somebody's doing something right, but when they're doing something wrong, they can't tell you nothing. I can tell you both. I can tell you both. I can tell you why Valentina lost the first fight with Grasso. I picked that fight wrong. That was a fight I picked wrong. I said, "Oh boy, Valentina's going to hurt Grasso. Valentina's going to not knock Grasso out, but Valentina's going to TKO Grasso on the ground." First fight. That was that my pick. I think I picked Valentina by finish. I picked Valentina by finish the first fight. And when she lost, I was like, dang. I was right here though. I tell you why she lost. Valentina lost that fight because she, made a bad mistake. But this one here, I think it came down to Weili. I think mostly because Weili's skill set on her feet they didn't prepare to they didn't develop it all like in her striking, like her boxing ability. See, Alexa Grasso has a really solid fundamental in boxing, and I think that's what kind of baffled Valentina. She hadn't seen that in a while. Weili came with the MMA striking. She came with some MMA striking, just like Joanna. She knows everything you about to do. Like she could see your body language from a mile away. And that's where Weili was. Weili was like a mile away. Weili started the fight on the outside, of course, but she stayed on the outside the majority of the fight. She stayed out there. Like they didn't really come up with a good game plan to close that distance or, kind of just kind of get Valentina out of her rhythm. They gave Valentina plenty of time to just to get comfortable and start picking wherever she wanted to crack Weili. Head kick, knee to the body kick, do a Superman left hand at her time, spinning back elbow. There was really no worry in this fight, of any type of counter coming back because I think Weili landed like one right hand in the first round. I do remember that because that was like the only shot that kind of had me like, uh-oh, not even like an uh-oh moment, but I was just like, oh, okay, like maybe Weili's got a plan, but after that shot, that was it. That was it. Like they just, because to me, that was number one. Like the striking wasn't evolved or developed to fight a way better striker. Weili striking at 115 is much more dominant and powerful because she's able to mix in so many other things. But when you dealing with a sharpshooter like Valentina, whose timing is impeccable and her quickness is just off the chart compared to all the other flyweights, you have to have some type of fundamental. I know she was working with Nonito Donaire. I know she was working with Nonito Donaire like a few years ago, but I don't know if they like stuck it out like that. I don't know if she's been like really boxing hard like that. Like again, Weili has a good MMA striking strategy for strawweight, but it was no solid. It was just not like a solid fundamental in closing distance in this fight. It was like she was waiting for that moment to just kind of rush Valentina and be chaotic. I didn't get any of that. I didn't really get any of that trickery with the footwork like Grasso did. Even Grasso kind of lost it after the first couple rounds. She was like good in the first fight, second fight, but then she couldn't do it in the third fight. But again, that just shows you the talent and the skill of Valentina. Okay, Zama said it was just a one practice with Donaire. Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, like she needed that type of training to me, not specifically with him, but she needed boxing to really sharpen some things up on her feet. Like they spend so much time in wrestling, but when you're dealing with a mixed martial arts like Valentina, they really needed to start working on just like their being able to measure distance with the eyes and know the body language and feints and things like that. I don't know. Like I really think that they probably thought they could outmuscle Valentina. I think they really believe they could outmuscle Valentina at some point, but even that was a big mistake because you kind of underestimate Valentina's strength. You underestimate her strength and her the work that she's put in. Like, shoot, we were watching tape, man, and you've been seeing how she handled Joanna. Joanna, I'm just starting with Joanna because when Joanna moved up, she got great takedown defense and she was strong, but Joanna was getting taken down. Then you go to 135, Pena was taken down, Holly Holm was taken down. All these girls were taken down, so Andrade, that would kind of make you say, man, like, should we come up? Should we come up as a first fight? Should we come up as a first fight? Like, I know a little while back, some of y'all were saying maybe she should fight Aaron first, since Aaron was kind of talking. Man, Aaron put it. Aaron told the truth. She was like, she ain't gonna win this fight. She said that Weili ain't gonna win the fight because she was too small. But I don't think it was just the fact that she was too small. I think it was the fact that they kind of underestimated Valentina's strength. When I just kind of look back at some of the scenes in the fight, I haven't really watched it all the way through again, but I just think there were some fight moments in there where, there were moments where they definitely were underestimating what Valentina brings to the table when it comes to her strength, especially when you're a little shorter too, you're a little bit compact. Valentina's going to have a little easier time like she did with Andrade. She babied Andrade. I was like, oh boy, I almost thought this was about to be a repeat because when Weili was on her back, I thought, oh snap, here we go. She about to get put in the crucifix and get finished. But yeah, Weili learned a lesson. She learned a lesson. And I'll say this too. I know this will make some fans mad. I think it just comes down to skills too. Like, I think it was more, I don't know. I think size does I think size plays a factor at flyweight, of course, because you're dealing with so many big, strong grapplers. But I think skill is really important too, because there's some fighters that just don't have skills that go across the board like that. Like, I don't know a lot of boxing fans in here, but that's the only analogy I can use is like when I look at Roy Jones, he was considered pound for pound one of the best boxers because his skills could go all the way across the board. His speed, his style, awkwardness, all of that could be carried from middleweight to heavyweight, right? But there's some middleweights that don't fight in a way that could beat somebody that big. So I think, Weili's style is kind of not similar to his, but I think hers is more of a one division type of style. I'm not saying she's one dimensional. Okay. I'm not saying she's one dimensional. I'm saying she's a one division champion, meaning that her skills and her style fit the division that she's in. Like, she doesn't have defensive skills like Valentina. She doesn't have that type of timing and control and that type of strength that carries up over, a weight class. Because, I mean, look at Valentina. Valentina could fight at 135 now. I know they're talking that nonsense about Kayla versus Valentina, but I think Valentina would have more of a chance to beat Kayla than Weili did now. Now I look at it because I'm like, wow, her skills are really that solid. It's been proven time and time again. Like, her skills carry up over two weight divisions. Let's put it that way. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, pound for pound, like, her skills carry up over two weight divisions. Could have been, like, if there was a featherweight, probably not. But I'm just saying, like, she's one of those fighters that, when you look at her accomplishments over the years, all the fighters that she's handled, like, she's been able to do that over two divisions against all different sizes and different styles, big girls, Manon, Holly, small girls, Andrade, Weili, skinny girls, lanky girls, not skinny, but lanky girls like Joanna, Caitlin Chikagan. She beat them all. She beat them all. Wei Lee again. Like I just think that her abilities are good for 115, and she tried it out. She tried it out. She's just not. She's not built for that. I don't think. Does she? Should she stay? Mm, I don't know. I really don't know because it's a process. You see, Rose is not having the same success at 125 right now. I mean, I'm glad that she's been kind of active though. Rose has been really active, and she has been taking her time to grow into the division. But with Wei Lee being 36 now, I don't know, man. Like I don't know if at 36 years old, Wei Lee is gonna want to grow in that way. Um, when you've been riding high sometimes for so long, just don't know if she wants to take that time to grow like Grasso did. See, Grasso started from the bottom. Grasso started from the bottom and she was able to fight all those flyweight fights, and then come back and say, okay, yeah, like, she looks good. She proved me wrong. She looked way like Grasso was different than 115. But Wei Lee been on top at 115s for so long. Now you got to go back and, fill out, really, really grow into the division. Oh, yeah, another example I want to say, Terrence Crawford, like Terrence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez. Everybody thought Canelo Alvarez was going to win. I was like, you know what? Nah. Terrence Crawford, his style and his dog and his skills go across the board, from what was it, 130, 135 all the way up to 168, because he don't go in there and take punches like that. He don't go in there and fight stupid. Not saying Wei Lee fights stupid. I'm just saying, like, again, more based off of offense. She's just not that type of fighter to be able to own two divisions like that. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. She tried it. Go back. Oh, what do y'all think in the comment section? Go on back. I think just go back to 115. Ain't nothing to prove at 125. I mean, the possibility of going on a losing streak now. Because, hey, there's Aaron, there's Natalia, and Manon. And I think Manon would do her like Yan Xiaonan did, but probably stop Wei Lee. I know the other day I said that I put a post up. I said, yeah, BJ said Aaron smokes Wei Lee. I think we actually agree on that. I think we actually agree on that because Aaron broke Tracy. I'm just saying, I know that I'm messing with y'all now. Aaron broke Tracy. I thought she did. And she will, I think she'll beat Wei Lee. I think she will. I think Aaron beats Wei Lee. I think Manon stops her. Honestly, I think Manon would stop her, kind of like she did Jasmine. I think she would just replicate what Yan Xiaonan did, except not get taken down and just keep popping her with hard punches. BJ said combo agrees. Stamina. Combo agrees. Stamina crazy combo. About what? Oh, I posted that. I posted that the other day. I do think there's a high possibility that Aaron could beat Wei Lee. I do. This is her division, and I think that her ability and her strength could be a problem. I mean, if Rose and Valentina keep Wei Lee on her back like that, I think Aaron could put Wei Lee on her back and keep her there. Aaron was stronger than Jessica Andrade. Y'all forget that. Jessica Andrade, Wei Lee was Wei Lee. Oh my goodness, I'm about to break this thing down. Aaron was durable against Jessica Andrade's biggest punches. She was durable. She was stronger. She took her down. She was stronger than that type of physical strength. So Aaron is one of them strong girls. So Aaron is one of them strong girls at the top. I think with that type of strength that Aaron possesses, she could put top control on Wei Lee. If that fight was to happen, you might see Wei Lee on her back again in there. I'm just saying, like, I'm giving respect where it's due now. Like I said, I don't think Aaron beats the champion Valentina, but put this type of style in there with a full-time flyweight against Wei Lee. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. Hold on. Robot said, "Come on, we gotta see Wei Lee versus Rose while Wei Lee is at flyweight." We could. I mean, I really want to see. Either that fight or Andrade Rose. We'll take that. We'll take either one. But I mean, yeah, while she's there, if she wanted to do that, I'm sure Rose would want to. That would be interesting. But then it would still be like, oh, she's 2-1, you know? Yep. Yep. I'm just pulling some stuff up here. Okay, Robot. Let me ask you, Robot. You here? Shout out to Robot Chicken because Robot Chicken, he's a Whaley fan, and you the only one that showed up for me. But let me ask you, Robot, because I'm gonna do this video anyway. I don't care what went wrong. Tell me what you think went wrong with Whaley against Valentina. Like, what? Why could she not execute? You ain't got to put a whole bunch of stuff, but just tell me why she lost the fight. Because I told you why. Look, I told you why Suarez got beat. Okay. I told y'all why Suarez got beat, but hey, give me the same. Give me the same, man. Y'all give me the same. Y'all are, this ain't no one-sided conversation. Like that's why I said me and BJ, we disagree, but we gonna talk, man. Like I picked Verna. I told him why Verna lost against Dern. He picked Jasmine, and he told me why Jasmine got put on skates against Manon. It's all good. And the other day, man, I usually don't do this, but I had to block somebody the other day, like just a random guy passing through because he was like, I'm not a real Valentina fan because basically he was saying I was calling it down the middle. I never claimed to be a hardcore Valentina fan. I never claimed to say that I'm going to just pick Valentina because I like Valentina better than Whaley. Like, personally, I like most of these fighters about the same. Like Whaley, like if I thought Whaley had a chance, I would give it to you even if I wasn't a fan. Like I don't get that. Like you don't like how I break down a fight because I'm not biased. I'm like, oh, come on, be quiet. Robot Chicken said the wrestling was superior. The wrestling was superior. Okay, yeah, that was. But what else? Zama said just wrestling. Yeah, what else? We can't stop there because we got to start with what came before the wrestling. What came before the wrestling? Okay. All right. I'm just going back up here. Okay. Colostrum said, oh, you got the link. Okay. Okay. I see it. Yeah. Marcus put it in the. Okay. I believe it. I see it now. Like I said, I got to see it to believe it. That's all I'm asking. Like, I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Makes sense. Okay, I'll read the article later, though. We'll talk about it later. Valentina whooped with more than wrestling. Robot Chicken said, here's the thing, Whaley could have gone up and down and done what Islam done. The difference is Valentina defended her belt for many moons. I said that Val and Whaley is on my Mount Rushmore, not surprised by the outcome. Islam did say something about her having a strength train. I think he did say something about that, like her needing the strength train to grow, to kind of grow. And he's a fighter. He gonna tell the truth. He said that she needed to grow into the division. Yeah, Marcus said Valentina did what she wanted to do in that fight. Valentina went all around. Like Valentina said, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna put on a mixed martial arts clinic, and that's what she did. Like that's what people don't understand. Like MMA is what Valentina does. People want to see, people want to see, silverback wars all the time. They want to see crackhead fights. They want to see drunk people. They want to see drunk fights in MMA. They always want to see this type of action like that. Like, you're not always going to get that, man. Like, when you got a mixed martial artist who's done this for a long time, who doesn't want brain damage and wants to keep their belt, they're going to fight at a high level and do the things to favor them, right? They're not going to give their opponent a chance to choke them out. You know, that's the crazy part, man. Man, I don't get it, man. Like that's the thing I just don't get about people being boring. Like what people saying boring stuff like that. I don't know, man. Hold on. I'm trying to move something here. Oh, hold on. Oh crap. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Boring. Boring. I'm pulling up some articles. Hold on, sorry. Paul said Whaley is still cool. Y'all are haters. Yeah, yeah, she might. Yeah, she's cool. She's cool, but this ain't her division. It's definitely in her. It's definitely in her division. She's definitely got to go back home to 115. What do y'all think, man? Like, do y'all think she needs to go back to 115? I haven't really heard that. Is that an unpopular opinion? Is that an unpopular opinion going back down to 115? To me, I think that's a good idea. But I will say this: I think that Dern has earned the option to fight Suarez first. Am I wrong for that? Because she did call for Suarez. Like, does Dern have to fight Whaley if she comes back down right away, or should she get to fight Suarez? At least let her try to get a chance. Like that fight's more on the level because I think Dern might win that fight, but Suarez could. But that's more of an even playing field fight for Dern right now. If Whaley comes back down, we already know what's going to happen. Let's not. I think she deserves a first title defense. I don't want to say against an easy opponent, but somebody that's still in the division that's more on her level of playing field. Robot Chicken said, at least you knew Whaley had enough skills to get finished. You call Valentina by decision. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, I had to go with decision with Valentina. Like, that's what she does, and I wasn't mad about that. A lot of people were getting mad. Like, they call head kick, they call knockout because that's what they want or because they hate the other fighter. But to me, I've seen this person do what she does for so long, and I know how she's going to win. So it's like, as a mixed martial artist, this is how she's going to fight. This is how she's going to, approach it. Ronda Savage Sports, what's up? He said, what is took from this fight is that Whaley is still the more exciting fighter than Valentina. Valentina may have the better fight IQ, but Whaley put there to finish. Valentina couldn't even finish a smaller fighter. I don't really think she was trying. There were moments where I ain't gonna lie. There were moments where she should have finished Whaley, or she could have finished Whaley. Like couple of them body shots could have put her out of there. Like I was waiting for it because when Whaley went kind of backpedaling. I don't know if you saw that, Ronda, but when she went on the back foot from the body kick, I thought that okay, this is the moment where she's gonna go after her and probably finish her. Because I put a couple of the pictures up where you can really see like the reaction from Whaley too, where when she got hit to the body, man, whew, you could see that reaction. Zama said Whaley would definitely go down. I always thought she could have gone down anyway because she was delusional. She had grappling advantage over Shevchenko since she's not a big flyweight. I think Whaley doesn't want anything to do with the likes of Manon. No, no, because I think her mind was just set on that one fight. I think it was just set on that one fight. I think she was just set on wanting that Valentina fight, but I don't think that flyweight was like this long term thing. And I think with her moving up and getting that option, she was willing to sacrifice at that point and say, "Oh, you know what? I don't need the 115 pound belt anymore." So she just went on and took the chance. Ronald said, if you want to prove your dominance, the bigger fighter should always go for the finish to make a point. Yeah, I could see that. I can agree with that. Like, I think that once you have a person clearly hurt and you have that option to get them out of there, you can. Like, yeah. Like, I appreciate the fight. Like I said, I don't find it boring, but I see where you're coming from because once you seen all she has to offer and you have hurt, to me, like anytime you hurt somebody, I think you should get them out of there. To me, anytime you got somebody ready to go, get them out of there. Like, I think Amanda would have gotten Pena out of there in that second fight, but Pena was just so tough. Like, Pena never really like cracked, even though she got dropped 5 times. But I think Wei Lee was on the verge to being gone from a body shot. And I think that could have been that time to, just go ahead and say, let me put this girl back down to 115, Paul said, what is your opinion of Rose's 125-pound run so far when she lost to Manon? Were you saying she should go back down? Whaley lost to the champion. When Rose lost, since she was fighting the contender and she said she wasn't going back down, I thought that for Rose, if she wanted to rebuild, because number one, Rose is done. There was no need for Rose to go back to 115 because Wei Lee was the champion. And her point with moving up was, she kind of said borderline she had trouble making the weight, and she had already beat Wei Lee, the champion, 2 times. So there was nothing for Rose, right? So when she lost to Manon, my thing was, you need to start from the bottom, like the bottom of the flyweight division. There was no need for Rose to go back to 115. So different energy for both of these fighters because they're in 2 different positions, Paul. Number one, again, Rose beat Wei Lee twice, done. Doesn't feel like she can make the weight anymore. And she was starting from contender status. So her thing is to start from the bottom. And that's where she's going. That's where she's going now. Wei Lee, longtime champion, doesn't really have the same build. Only is really seeking one fight here. Not really seeking to grow into the division, because even when they asked her about full-time flyweight, she said that I want to fight Valentina. She never said she wanted to move up. See, Rose actually wanted to become a flyweight. That's why she's still here. And when she lost to Manon, my thing is, you shouldn't have started that high. You have to grow into in the division like Grasso did, because you're not a champion anymore. When she moved up, she wasn't a champion. So it's 2 different things. So yeah, I'm not gonna treat every fighter as the same here with certain situations like this, because it's 2 different paths they on. Ron says, so if that's the case, why warrant a trilogy with Amanda if she lost twice as well? Oh, y'all talking about that? I really don't want to see a third fight, honestly. Like, Natalia Silva, bring on Natalia Silva, man. That's it. Before we wrap this show up, I got to say, bring on Natalia Silva, and we're gonna call it a day. No, we ain't calling it a day for Valentina. Valentina still got some gas in her if she was to win that fight. Natalia Silva's done enough to win her title shot. She's done enough. 7-0 streak now. Oh man, these MMA journalists, man, like that's one reason I'm gonna do these videos and lives the way I want to do it, because I don't care. Like, I think Natalia Silva's next. If I was interviewing Valentina, I would say, what you think about Natalia Silva? Instead, they start going off the deep end, man, and start bringing up crazy stuff. Why you gonna bring up why you gonna bring up Kayla Harrison and somebody that's not even in the division? I mean, at least Rose, not Rose, but at least Valentina did mention Aaron. At least she did mention the flyweight, but they started with that Kayla Harrison bringing up the White House thing and fighting her there. Um, who's the bigger challenge for Valentina, Natalia or Kayla? Mm, I think Natalia Silva is. I think Kayla is just big. I think that's what would make the fight go in the favor of Kayla if she was just that massive. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to boxing again. Like Roy's a really good boxer, but I don't think he could beat a heavyweight, a natural heavyweight like Lennox Lewis. He could beat a heavyweight like Mike Tyson because they're more in the same category. I think. If he moved up, well, he did move up. He beat John Ruiz, but if Roy could beat Ruiz, he could beat like a Mike Tyson. But he going in there get somebody so massive like Lennox Lewis, that would be crazy. Kayla, man, like I think it would just really come down to her physicality because her stand-up game is nowhere near as polished or as awkward or challenging as Natalia. Because I think for me, I can envision a way Valentina could beat Kayla. I could put a basic analysis together on how Valentina could beat Kayla Harrison. Like if she was like the same size, but how would I want to put this? But I think it's more challenging for. I think Natalia is more challenging. Let me just put it that way. Let me just put it that way. I'm gonna just put it that way. Yeah, Natalia is more of a challenge. Like coming up with the keys to victory for Natalia against Valentina is a little bit trickier. I think Kayla is big and she's strong, and her ground game is really solid. But I think a lot of the things that she does technically wrong. If let's say Valentina was like a full-fledged bantamweight again, she would really give her problems. Like Valentina could probably finish her. You know, Valentina, she can keep it standing. You go to the ground with her, and she had good size against Kayla, or if she was strong enough, she would give her problems. She would put her down. You know, Valentina's, she was quick even at 135. She was quick even in that weight. Ronda said, I just think Natalia still hasn't gotten those fights and highlights to boost her name. Yeah, I don't think she's gotten like, I don't think Natalia Silva's like this huge name. But who is, like, I don't think a lot of these girls at flyweight are like huge names. To hardcore fans like me, I know them. But like she doesn't, she does have the two names. Let me put it that way. Like she's got two good names. Like she's two former champions, Grasso and Andrade, but she doesn't have multiple finishes. No, like because she sticks to her style. And I think somebody like Natalia Silva who shows discipline and sticking to her style is similar to Valentina in that aspect. Like definitely not saying she's on Valentina's level skill wise, but her dedication to her skill and what she possesses is like similar to Valentina. Like she don't care if the crowd's booing. Natalia's going to do what she do, just like Valentina does. And I think that's where it becomes a hard kind of fight, even for Valentina, if they were to go at it in a striking match. Eventually, Valentina might make that adjustment, close in and wrestle her. But if it stays on the feet for so long, like who cracks first? Like who's gonna come out of their comfort zone, or who gets over anxious, right? BJ says she ain't got 5-round experience either. No, she only got a 5-round experience, but hey, not every does every contender that goes into a fight get 5-round experience though? I mean across the board, man. I mean across the board. Like I'm talking about, men fights as well. Like who's a champion now that had to fight just a 3-round fight but didn't fight a 5-round fight? I won't say they need it, BJ, because apparently, again, I'm gonna ask you that question: who's a champion now that had to just fight a 3-round fight because if they got the belt, they didn't need it. I mean, it would be nice to have. I'm gonna put it that way, because if it was needed, they, we would have a lot of people losing in their first fight. Their first championship fight. I would like it honestly. I think every title eliminator should be a 5-round fight, but I mean, in all honesty, once we look at who's fought for the belt after a 3-round fight and won one, and then maybe gone on long runs, it doesn't really affect them. I think they, the ones that want the belt, they're ready. Robot said Grasso didn't have 5-round experience. Actually, she did. Didn't she fight Viviane Araújo, right? She did have 5-round experience. She fought Viviane Araújo. The Viviane Araújo fight was a 5-round fight, right? Because it was a main event, if I remember correctly. She did have 5-round experience. Manon got 5-round experience, and that was mostly because they had to extend out because of the rematch between Grasso, so that gave them a chance to, fight. But yeah, a 5-round fight with Viviane Araújo. Yeah, that was a main event. So yeah, that was 5 rounds. So that was basically like her title eliminator, because after that she fights Valentina and wins. So same thing, Fior did the same thing. I mean, it's always nice to have. I'll just put it that way, but it's not needed because there's a lot of champions out there that didn't get it. So yeah. Brian said, yeah, we would all like for title eliminators to be 5, but that's hard. Right. Exactly. That's not the standard. Like, we would like it. I would like it, but it's not the standard and it's not needed. Like if you ask a lot of other fighters, they probably be like in between too. Some would probably want it, but not all of them would say, oh, I need it. But other than that, man, I think Valentina's path for the rest of her career now, I think it's up in the air. As far not up in the air, like questionable, but I mean, she has options. She's kind of in that position where everybody's targeting her. You see, I'll probably do a video on it, but yeah, shout out to Tay. She was talking about it. Amanda Nunes talking about going on a anorexic diet to come down to 125. Man, Amanda, no, man. Like, Amanda knows she can't do that, man. You can't go down. I hope she's really playing around, man. You know how Amanda at 125 would look. I couldn't even imagine that. After seeing Amanda fight at featherweight for so long and just be thicker than that, like I could not imagine Amanda at 125. I wouldn't even want to see her. She get knocked out. She would be drained, man. I could not. Don't. I hope she was just playing around. Like, if anything, Amanda should say, "Hey, Valentina, come on back up to 135 and let's do it here." But yeah, people like Kayla, they want this fight. Apparently, did did Dakota say something too, man? Let me see. Did Dakota want a White House fight too, man? This was a good fight for Valentina because it's kind of put her. This is like the one fight that's really put her out there now, because now people are talking crazy. Hold on, let's see. Hold on, I don't see nothing here. Did Dakota really say that? I don't see if I don't think Dakota said anything about fight Valentina, did she? Yeah, the White House. That was Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison wanted that fight. But to me, again, Natalia is the next in line. Natalia Silva, I like what she's doing. She's next. The rotating door is just like that at flyweight now. Next flyweight fight I really want to see, man. Not even like a high level fight. I would love to see Wayne Kong and Carly Giudice though. me see what else we got here. We got mainly Aaron. Ronda said that's a good fight. Yeah, that's gonna. You want to finish Ronda Savage Sports? There you go. If you want to finish, man, if you really want to get a finish or you want to see a finish, Wayne Kong, Carly Giudice. That is a fight to make. I believe it's gonna happen one day. Like it is. Like Carly Giudice just put together, I think, like 2, 3 wins in a row, all by finish. Robot said, "What's next for Angela Hill?" Earlier I said Sam Hughes. I think that's a good fight. You know, number one, Sam Hughes could get ranked off of that fight if she was to win, and I think number two, that's a good fin. I think that's a good farewell fight for Angela Hill at this point. You know, Paul said, "Are you excited for Macy's return?" I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm glad to see her coming back, man. I mean, I'm not angry. I'm not angry with her. I never was angry with her. I mean, I was just disappointed we didn't get that main event, but I wasn't mad like some people. Like, was I? No. I really wanted that fight, but I'm glad she's finally coming back. I mean, I'm gonna watch the fight. Shoot, see her fight Kareem Silva. Shoot, I definitely want to see what she can do, man. But who else do we got? No women's fights this weekend coming up, but the card still looks pretty decent. I think we're gonna get some finishes on this card coming up, November 22nd. I'm gonna definitely be watching, putting in some work, but I'm gonna be watching this Armin and Hooker card. Then you got Bilal Muhammad and Ian Gary on there. That fight ain't ending in no finish, but still, it's not a bad card. Not a bad. Oh wow, it starts early too, 10 in the morning. Oh, I ain't watching that yet. I'll watch the replay. I'm gonna be sleeping. Forget that. I will sleep. I will be sleeping. Okay. All right. What else? What else? I'm just flipping through some stuff here as far as WMMA goes, and I'm about to wrap it up here in a minute, y'all. Good show, definitely a good show. Again, man, UFC 322. It delivered to me. The main card, you know, it kicked off with what three quick finishes, and then when you jump to the championship fights, it's like, come on, like, you know, not all this time. We're not going to get the perfect finishing card, especially when you deal with champions. So I expected the main and the co-main to be a decision. Those openers were good though, man. Shoot, man, look at this, man. Natalia Silva. How you gonna play Natalia Silva like that, man? Like, I'm not even putting the blame on Valentina like that, man. Like, she called for Aaron because Aaron just fought, and you know, she probably wasn't even paying attention to the rankings. It was adrenaline, and she just won her fight. She was just like, you know, Aaron was on the same card, and they're in the same division. She was just calling it, you know. But um, I'm more, like I said, for the MMA journalists, though, man. They are the ones that are actually watching these things, man. They're the ones that are actually watching these things and looking at the rankings. But who do they pick? They talk about Kayla. Mm. Barbara, what? Oh, Barbara versus Silva's guaranteed violence. Oh yeah, that's going to be a good fight. That would definitely be a good fight. I mean, I definitely think there's going to be some action to it. Oh boy, Ronda Savage Sports said Wayne Kong versus Jasmine. Who you got? Jasmine. I like Jasmine, but I'm gonna go Wayne Kong. I gotta go with Wayne Kong, man. Wayne Kong versus Barber. Let me see. I think I'll go with Wayne Kong again, man. And it's not I'm trying to hype Wayne Kong up. I just see the styles, you know. Oh man, but that Jasmine, Wayne Kong versus Jasmine, that might be like the Victoria Leonardo fight, man. Whew. I hate it for Jasmine, man. I hate that her run got stopped, you know. But if you really look at the people she was beating, I gave her credit for, being active and, going in there and getting better as a fighter. But a lot of the girls she was beating, man, like they weren't going to prepare her for Fior. They weren't going to prepare her for Fior or I don't even think they would really prepare her for like a rematch with Natalia Silva or, a fight with Aaron. And that's not her fault. She was just building, she was building and she was beating who they put in front of her. But, we just looking at reality, when she got in there with Manon, I gave her maybe like I said, maybe one round, if she could close in the distance and maybe get some wrestling in, because I thought maybe, just maybe, her pressure could have been effective for at least a round. But man, like if she fights Wayne Kong, who's sitting down on punches, Wayne Kong had some pretty good leg kicks in that last fight she had with Lipsky. I think she almost stopped Lipsky with some leg kicks too. So yeah, Wayne Kong's got some decent power. She's got decent power too. But other than that, man, I'm looking at the rankings. Like, yeah, that's a good fight. Wayne Kong. Shoot, Eduardo Mora. I'm waiting for her to come back. She's number 13. Oh yeah, Gabby Fernandez is 15. She's on a nice little win streak. Oh man, JJ Aldridge is still here. Man, I like JJ Aldridge too, man. I know a lot of people don't like JJ, but I'm not sure if JJ would ever get to top 5 at this point. But I like JJ, man. Um, yeah, Miranda's in the top 10. She's at number 10 now. I think a good comeback fight for her would be Tracy. I don't know how Casey O'Neill is number 11, honestly, man. Like I'm looking at the rankings right now. Actually, I would put Casey O'Neill. What was her last fight? It's been like over a year now. I probably would put Wayne Kong over her in the rankings. Maybe they should do JJ Aldridge versus Casey O'Neill. Ooh. Maybe they should do Gabriela Fernandez versus Casey O'Neill. I'm gonna go with Gabby in that fight. Brian said, didn't Wayne Kong get slept in her last fight? No, she beat Lipsky. She got submitted by Gabriela Fernandez like a couple fights ago, but yeah, she beat Ariane Lipsky. Zalman said Kong needs to reach top 5 ASAP. I kind of agree with that. I think that I won't say time is not on her side, but I want to see a little bit more. I want to see some more action brought up at the top. She's 33 years old. Nothing scheduled for her. We know that she's going to be fighting a ranked opponent. We know that for a fact at this point. We know they are going to be pushing Wayne Kong up the ladder here pretty soon. At number 12, they might. Do you think they would be diabolical and make Jasmine fight Wayne Kong? Oh man, it could be Rose. It could be Rose. I know Rose said in her last post, "Put me in." Rose said, "Put me in, coach." I guess she's training again. So, man, that would be diabolical, man, if they did Wayne Kong versus Jasmine. I mean, it's a ranking for Wayne Kong, but man, maybe they better give her somebody with some skill that ain't gonna get hurt like that. Give her Rose. Rose at least there's a high possibility Rose could win. High possibility Kong could win, but I just think Wayne Kong versus Jasmine, that's gonna put her back on a. I don't want to see her fall like that, man. I want to see her at least get a chance to work on her striking. Okay, Jasmine versus Eduardo Mora. That's a good fight. That's doable because she ain't really got to worry about somebody with the hands like that. I'd see Jasmine versus Eduardo Mora, and I would rather see Wayne Kong versus Rose. Let me see. Rose is coming off that. Was she coming off of? Lost to Rose a year ago. Dang, has it been that long? Or did she beat? When did she beat Tracy Cortez? No, that was back in May of last year. Let me see. Rose. Oh yeah, Miranda. Miranda. Yeah, she beat Miranda in June. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. What else we got? Robot said, "Who do you got between Santos, Luana Santos, and Croden?" I'm gonna go with Melissa Croden. BJ said I was trolling. I was. Paul said I was trolling on Jasmine. I'm not trolling. How am I trolling on her? I'm just telling you the truth. Like she got to fight down right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Melissa Croden. We still need that Rose Barber fight. Do we? Uh, do we? What y'all think? Do we y'all think we need that Rose Barber fight? We need that Aaron Barber fight. I don't care what Aaron says. That fight will happen one day if Aaron and Rose, not if Aaron Barber, if they somehow cross paths again. Because Aaron don't duck nobody, and I hope that Barber would entertain that at some point. Oh yeah, they do have some beef. Oh, can we call it beef, Rhonda? Was it? I know it was some things said behind the scenes with them too. I remember when they were doing the build up, they was talking about like I can't remember if it was Macy training at Rose's gym or something like that. I kind of remember they didn't really go into the details when they were doing the interviews, but I remember hearing something about that back in like April or May of 2024. Cavalcanti and Macy Chase on. Yeah, I'll take that. Or Cavalcanti and Irene Aldana. Yeah, if Aaron, if they offer Aaron some money for that fight, oh, they'll definitely make that. They would definitely make that fight. Rhonda said, Rise said it's more if Barber's dad, Buck, that wants that fight. He thinks she's better than Rose. Well, he can think that. But Rose, she's a proven champion. That's why I know he wants to make that happen so he can prove it. But because Rose might not be beating the elite at 125. Let me look at Rose's resume. Like since she moved up, this is the busiest she's ever been. 3-2 at flyweight. That's pretty decent, especially when you know who she went up against, Aaron and Manon, who she lost to. Then she beats Ebas, she beats Cortez with these, she beats Miranda. And then Barber to me would kind of be like a step in between like the Aaron and Manons and like the Miranda and Tracy's, Honestly, I thought Miranda did beat Macy Barber a while back though. Deep Thoughts. Deep Thoughts said, I believe Wei Li, her fans, and the UFC were deceived by her success with an injured Suarez. I believe Suarez would have done a little better on the ground without the big gash in her knee. Shout out to Deep Thoughts, man. Like, he's still representing, man. Still represents Suarez. See, I thought Suarez, had her boxing been a little bit better, man, if they had a better game plan and, she could have got some work in, man. At least I told people though, man. Like I said, I told you why Suarez. I ain't see no Robot was only a Wei Li fan that, told me something, but no other Whaley fan can tell me why Valentina lost this fight. Y'all just want me to do that what went wrong video. That's all. To be said, does Val or Silva get dropped at any point? Probably not. I don't think anybody gets dropped in that fight. Look at this. What went? I got a little bit of time on my hand here today since I'm at home. I'm gonna put this right here. Yeah. At least Robot did tell me why he thinks she lost. The wrestling wasn't that good, but I'm gonna I'll probably do one tomorrow or something. And it's not that hard. It ain't like you got to figure it out. I just want to be honest. Whaley's just small at this time to fight Val at flyweight. Small with a combination of skills not being, her skills not being polished across the board for many weight classes. Like when you already lacking like height or reach, but you just don't have like the IQ to really own in one department, and your main go-to is wrestling, and Valentina's wrestling is just off the charts. It just spell for disaster. He says Whaley chased the fighters. What went wrong? She did chase the fight because that was the only fight she wanted at 125. I said this the other day. There's a difference between wanting one fight and actually wanting to be champion. Because when they asked Whaley about Manon a few times, she never really wanted that fight. Like if Manon had beat Valentina, I don't think she would have moved up to fight Manon. I doubt that. Grasso, when she came from 115 to 125, she wanted to be flyweight champion. Period. It didn't matter who was the champion. She was just chasing championship status. That was it. Whaley's always wanted to fight Valentina since 2019. She's always wanted to fight Valentina. Valentina this, Valentina. I wanted that fight. Dana had to say in an interview that, no, Whaley brought it up in an interview. Dana said, "No, you can't have that fight." That was 6 years ago. Now, fast forward, she just really was chasing this one particular fight, but that was crazy too. Like chasing this one fight, I thought that they would have really did their homework. Because Grasso, she did her homework. They took it home that one time. I mean, they don't have the belt anymore, but they did it. At least they can say they beat Valentina. Her team. They can say they done. And that's what's crazy about it. Whaley wanted this fight 6 years ago, but they couldn't do it. Were they too obsessed with it? Whereas Grasso was more dedicated. I think so. Because Grasso dedicated to growing in the division, putting on the muscle, fighting the fights to get there, and boom, she wins it. There's a difference, man. There's a difference. And I know Whaley fans might get mad at this, but when you also have the privilege, because let's be honest, Grasso, she can headline a certain card to a level, but Whaley's got the fan base. Whaley wins a few title defenses. I want to fight Valentina. Go, okay, you can do that. There's no process. You just got to give up your belt, but here you go. You can have that fight. And everybody's like, okay, yeah, well, she can do it. She can do it. So, yeah, that's all it is. She just wanted to get that one fight. It wasn't about being a full-time flyweight. That's why I'm saying, like, go back down to 115. I know I heard some people saying, oh, no, she needs to stay at 125 now. She can, no, like, I don't think that was her mindset. Rose, though, wants to be a flyweight. Rose has no intention of going back down. It's different. Like Rose Namajunas wants to be the flyweight now, and she's putting in the work now, win or lose. But Wei her main goal was just a one-shot deal. So yeah, that's just how it goes. It's done. It's done. Just go back down. Paul said poor injuries couldn't stop takedowns, poor game plan, and bad coaching. Yeah. Very, very poor on that part. You think skills were there? Skills were there, but the game plan, it was the game plan that went wrong. I think the skills really weren't there when it came down to her striking. Like I don't really think they had like a good skill set when it comes to striking. Even with some of her past fights, with even when I was looking back at the Joanna fight, like Whaley's got good hands and stuff. I ain't gonna knock that. Like she's got good power, but looking at Joanna hit Whaley clean so many times in that fight, that war, I was kind of questioning some of the things that she did back then. And then, we see the Rose fight, boom. So I still think it was a skill thing when it came to choices being made there on the feet. Paul said, have some respect for Zhang Weili. Come on, she lost to a legend, but she had no fear and she tried. No, nobody's disrespecting her. I don't think so. Ain't nobody call Weili a coward or anything. Nobody's disrespecting Weili. I mean, I see Rhonda in the chat. He being real. He's saying bad game plan. That sounds respectful to me. No fear. Yeah, she was no fear. She had no fear, but she had no skill. I'm just playing, man. You walking right into that stuff. Come on, like BJ said Dern or Whaley. Dern or Whaley, what? Dern or Whaley, what? What are you asking, BJ? Dern or Whaley, what? Who wins that fight? Robot said, I still believe Whaley could have had the same success as Islam moving up. People just rolled the dice on Whaley. I'm not ashamed. Maybe like as she grows into the division, maybe. G Rob snatches them both up. Who, Dern or Whaley? Jillian Robertson snatches both of them up. Look, BJ got Amanda Lemos problems right now, so we ain't even gonna jump there. We ain't talking until that fight is done, because feelings will be hurt if Lemos does her thing. So hey, we ain't even jumping up there yet. We staying right here on December. We ain't moving ahead with her. G Rob got work to do, because we know December 13th. We ain't going past December 13th. Look, we ain't look, y'all here talking about Dern versus G Rob, Dern versus G Rob versus Whaley. No. December 13th. We got Lemos first. Lemos. Look, this was coming up. All right. This the fight we need to be talking about and breaking down right here. Not no imaginary fight. This the fight that G Rob called out. This the fight that she called for. So we're gonna look at the fight that she called for. Ron said Whaley needs to keep Hinger as her coach. John Wood confused Whaley while coaching. He was also coached Whaley during the yawn. Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. You think about like the striking too. Like she was really having trouble with the striking in the Yan Janan fight. Yeah, Wood was a good strength and conditioning coach, though. Y'all know Wood. That's yeah. BJ said G Rob sees something in Lamos that she can snatch. Yeah, we're gonna see December 13th. We shall see, man. Oh boy. 2B said I picked G Rob or Lamos by destruction. One way or another. I think one dominates and finishes the other. Depends on who falls into whose trap, man. Deep thought said everything Valentina did in the fight was superior. Oh yeah. Yeah, everything was superior. Everything to a T, man. Everything Valentina did in that fight was perfect. 50-45. Every round was won. If I was Valentina and they had like said 49-46, I would definitely be shaking my head because I'd be like, no, like I fought a perfect fight. And I'm gonna mess with BJ too because he just came back in here. BJ was talking about some Aaron didn't get shut out by Manon. That was a shutout too. This was a clear cut technical shutout, but that was still a shutout too. If you can't win a round, let me get him going. Let me go ahead and get him going. Oh boy, let's see what is this. Oh. Oh wow. Hold up. Oh dang man, it's December 13th. You got 3 women's fights. You got Jamie Lynn Hoare, Teresa Bleda. Okay, Teresa Bleda finally coming back. Then you got Croden. Croden is coming back. Fierce. 2 months later. Yeah. I'm ready for that. Who y'all got in that fight? I know somebody asked me. I got Melissa Croden. I'm gonna go with Melissa Croden. I might even do an early pick. I'm gonna go with Teresa Bleda, Melissa Croden, and I'm gonna wait on that one, man. I won't pick yet. I won't pick Lamos Robertson yet. I'm gonna hold on that pick. On that note, I think I'm done. I am about to get off of here. Nice and early still. It's 7 p.m. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe. And subscribe even though I can tick you off on my opinion. And subscribe if you want to hear an honest take, or if honest take ticks you off, you can still subscribe. Okay, and next Tuesday, we'll be back with the mashup show. Mashup show next Tuesday at 7. I think that's about it. I'm just closing some stuff out here. Yeah. To be said, I'm taking Santos and Bleda early. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Melissa Croden in that fight. I think Melissa Croden might stop her. Croden is a big girl, man. Like Croden is a big girl. When she starts letting go, she's big. Deep Thought says saying Valentina is boring is excuse to not give Valentina her props, or they're not knowledgeable in real MMA. They just want entertainment without skills and fight IQ. Exactly. Yeah, because if you watch MMA, it's like, MMA, boxing, they're all about, strategy, timing, and technique. And I mean, you get your fighters who like to trade. You gonna get your Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje type of wars anywhere sometimes, but that's how they bring it. But you're gonna have the real fighters that want to. Not saying they're not real fighters, but you're gonna have the ones that really want to do mixed martial arts and do the things that Valentina does, and I respect that. Like, it really ticks a lot of people off whenever Valentina is like controlling the fight. But that's what you come to do, man. Like, that's what a champion comes to do. Like, they come to take over. They come to own the fight, dominate. They're not there to give their opponent a chance to beat them. She came there to own the fight. She wanted that fight to go her way. She was like, I'm not in here to put on a war. I'm not here trying to get beat up. If you happen to get beat up, that's one thing, but to to actually let somebody have their way, that's a different story. So yeah, I always respect the game for me. And on that note, I will catch y'all later. Who knows? I might be on again one day this week, but I am kind of busy. So if not, next show will be the mashup show Tuesday. I'll probably start doing this one every other Wednesday if I get a chance. I'm gonna do this one Wednesday, and then me and BJ will do the mashup on Tuesdays. And oh boy, uh, BJ, you got a debate going on? Are you still doing your Silver Blanchfield debate with anybody? I'm not doing that. You already know what the deal is. You already know what the deal is. Robot said, I'll take a link and cook BJ. One day, Robot, if you ever take a link, I will gladly give you a link, man. If you ever take a link, I will gladly give you one. For sure. Ronda Savage Sports said, if you look at damage wise, Valentina came out with a shiner and Whaley came out unblemished. Right. Yeah, like at the post fight, you did see Valentina with a shiner. I think that was from that right hand. I think it was from that one right hand. But yeah, it was just a different safe fight strategy. Valentina used more of her IQ and her strength. But that one shot just shows you what Whaley wanted to do. Yep. But hey, like I said, take a link if you want one day. This is the grown, you grow up when you do it, when you jump on the mic, because this is what we do all the time. We leave our opinions out here. We leave our takes out here. Everybody that does a channel, of course, shout out to Coach, you can add it. Everybody that jump on and put their voice out there, it's out there to be heard. And I'm always on here, even if I lose my picks, man. BJ too, BJ, he do his thing. So hey, we have our picks. You disagree? It is. That's the game. First time on the mic, man. Go ahead and do your thing, man. BJ. Oh man, it's crazy. It is crazy. BJ said, wrench. Oh, he said wrench. I get what you mean. You can work. Robot said it'll get ugly. Okay, we got our own little fight here. Okay, got our own little cage match here. Who is Are you ready, Robot, for a title fight? Because is this a title eliminator? Is this going to be a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight? Because the big boys, they go 15. You see, I can be on here forever. Rhonda said, don't forget Val has always been criticized about her laying prey. Still, she tried to switch it up in the first Grasso fight to make it exciting. And look what happened. Yeah, the third fight too. Rhonda Savage Sports. Let me ask you, because I'm a little confused. Not confused, but who should Aaron fight next? Rhonda Savage Sports still talking some good fight conversation here. So let me ask Rhonda Savage Sports. Who do you think Aaron should fight next? I'm still trying to think. Like, if Aaron doesn't get a title shot, who should Aaron Blanchfield fight next? Then let me see. I really can't think of somebody like Grasso. I kind of want to see Aaron and Grasso fight, though, man. Yeah. I kind of want to see Manon and Grasso fight. Cause see, Aaron has 2 wins in a row. But who does she fight in the meantime if Silva gets her shot? Huh. Ronda said Aaron should fight Natalia for the belt. Ooh, that could happen. They might do that. Mm, that is a high possibility. Aaron versus Natalia. Because Aaron did say she would take that fight. That would put her, if not, yeah, then Grasso. Yeah, I think Grasso would probably be another one. Or if Kareem Silva beat Macy Barber, I think then Aaron. Yeah. Because let's see, Aaron just fought November, so her turnaround time would probably be in like the spring. Yeah, probably be like the springtime or something like that. It could put her and Fatima Kline on the card again. Maybe Fatima versus Andrade and Aaron versus like Barbara Kareem Silva winner or something like that. Oh boy, let's see if it can be done. Colosum said Aaron is Kareem with cardio. Oh, Aaron versus Natalia, Ronda. I'm gonna go with Natalia. You making me pick like that. I like both fighters, man, but if I gotta be honest about style, like man, I do look, I've been following Aaron for a long time, man, but it's just that style, man. Val has options, Kayla or defend her belt simple. Yeah. Yeah, Val can do whatever she want right now. I just hope she does the right thing. If anything, like if Val was to top off her career, topping it off with maybe like a move back to 135 would be interesting. Like, let's say if Juliana Pena still had the belt in a perfect world, right? Let's say if Juliana Pena still somehow had the bantamweight belt, I would have loved to see Valentina move up and fight Pena in a title fight rematch and, win that belt. Which one is more appealing for Val? I think I really think that Natalia Silva fight is more appealing. I think Natalia Silva's fight with Valentina is more appealing to me because this is kind of like Valentina's second run now. First she beats Grasso for the belt, then she defends against Manon. Now she defends against Wei. Now she's going to defend against Natalia Silva. You know, so that's a good run again after losing the belt. Grasso, Whaley, Fior, Silva. And these girls are better than some of the girls she beat before. Like, let's be honest, like Andrade, even like the last Liz Carmouche fight, these girls are considered tougher. So I think for Valentina and Natalia would be a good matchup. The Kayla fight has more of like a sideshow vibe to it. It's just like a sideshow vibe to it to me. Yeah, Natalia dance circles around here, I think too. Like Aaron, Aaron might get caught a few times in that fight. I know somebody asked earlier, would there be any knockdowns in Valentina versus Natalia? But I actually think there'll be knockdowns in Silva versus Aaron, because she did drop. What's her name? Jasmine. Yeah, to be said, entire fight would definitely make Val the GOAT, in my opinion. Yeah, those. She just got a lot of fights. Zama said only for Nunes. Wait a minute. Shev won't throw her belt away there. He said only for Nunes. Yeah, pretty much. Like that's why I think we might not have to worry about a Kayla fight. Cause that Nunes fight still get to her, man. She want to solidify that. Cause if Valentina could beat Nunes at least one convincing time, she could really go down and just say, I did it. How appealing her belt is filled with rubies the most of any fighter. She still doesn't have that double champ status like Islam, but that's a rare club. Yeah, that's for some fighters, like double champ. I think double champ is for, some particular fighters. Honestly, I think Valentina has the skills to be a double champ, but if she never gets that status, it's cool. I think she's fine with a good, solid, dominant run one time, two times, and just, own that. Joanna had a good run at 115, dominant champion in that way. Sometimes I prefer that too myself, just to clean up your division and just own it. Sometimes that double champ status get a little messy. But on that note, y'all, I appreciate the conversation. I know Rhonda Savage, you were here the other day, but yeah, make sure you subscribe. We be on again. Always good conversation over here. I'm gonna hang it up for the night. And on that note, I am out, y'all. Peace.